Hello and welcome to Talking Tent, a podcast about movies, TV, and all the content we can possibly consume.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Irma.
We are a married couple whose shared love of movies and TV cannot be contained, so we've decided to share our thoughts, opinions, cheers, and occasional jeers with the world. Welcome to the first Trimester Awards of 2023. We are 1/3 of the way through the year. Wow, how time flies. And 20 episodes into your favorite new podcast. So it is time to look back on everything we've loved so far this year. And we're going to start with television. And the first award of the night is Best Drama Series.
Why so serious? No? Bad impression?
Very good impression, yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah. All right. So first, I'm going to have to give it to The Last of Us on HBO. I absolutely love this show. It was so brutal, but so, I don't know. I don't even know how to really explain it, but it was just amazing. I really loved watching it. I look forward to it every week, and I'm really excited to see where the next 2 seasons go. And then, of course, I have to give a shout out to Succession. I mean, it's still currently on, so I can't give this award to it right now. But, I mean, I feel like this award is probably going to go to HBO always. I don't know what channel or whatever can beat it. But at this point, yeah. So, The Last of Us.
We are in agreement, if we're being letter of the law, which will come up, of the show had to be finished in the first trimester. It's The Last of Us easy. If we're letting, well, maybe we're halfway through it in the first trimester, Succession has to be mentioned. I think what you were looking for is brutal and beautiful.
Yes.
We've discussed it at length.
Super heartwarming, like heartfelt. Yeah.
But we were shocked and delighted by how great the storytelling was, the acting, the drama. It was brutal at times. It was beautiful at times during The Last of Us. I think the one knock that people will have of it when it comes to later in the year of best of for the years is that a lot of the amazing scenes were literally and shockingly shot for shot from the video game. So
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't either, but some people might be like, all right, so what did the show do other than basically recreate the show basically recreate the video game outside of the beloved episode 3 that was completely fabricated originally. I'm not knocking it for that. I'm just saying some people might.
People like, at least me, like I never play video games. It would never be anything I would play. So I feel like they made this show for people like me to experience it. So I don't really think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. Succession, it's going to come up as a best of all time television show for a lot of people. The conversations are already starting, so we're definitely going to have to explore that. I really love The Last of Us, though. It really hit all the quadrants for me. So I agree.
All right.
Last of Us, but I have to also give a shout out to Beef, the talk of the town on Netflix. We've talked about it in a previous episode, but I just loved the building tension, the Shakespearean tragedy of it all. The detail of the crows, which I meant to mention when we were talking about it before. At first, I thought it was a Kurosawa reference. Turns out it wasn't. But if you haven't watched it, pay attention to the crows in the show because they play a pretty big part. And once you really look into it, it's pretty amazing what he kind of weaved in totally in the background. I think upon a second viewing, if I ever get to it, there will be a lot of details in the show that you kind of miss, little subtle things.
Well, apparently there's going to be 2 more seasons of this show, which still boggles my mind. And I can't, it was a perfect season. Like, it was a perfect way to end that. And I assumed wrongfully that it was a miniseries, but no, it is going to be 3 seasons, which I kind of not thrilled about. Like, I think it was perfect. Leave it alone.
Well, unclear yet if it is continuing. The showrunner has said both possibilities. He has mentioned that he has a 3-season story arc for Amy and Danny. which does seem weird. It did seem to end in a perfect spot, although of course you could keep going, I guess. But then he has also said that it's meant to be an anthology, so that if there was a second season, which is not official yet, we would be saying goodbye to Allie and Steven Yeun and
which
doing
I'd be
someone
fine
else.
with, an anthology, kind of like the White Lotus.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are doing that now with, it's kind of like the IP question.
Like True Detectives.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we have something wonderful that's one season. Let's just do it again with a different cast. Oh, the White Lotus did it, but yeah, like we don't have to do it with everything. That's a great 8 episodes of television, but I'm sure he's got something in the can.
I don't know. Well, people say that it's like a really good outlet for like movie star celebrities to come and do TV and not be like stuck in like a 5-season whatever or even more,
Right. Yeah.
So.
And then again, that goes back to the discussion of Beef versus Succession, where, Succession was not no names, but way lesser names. And now they've become major names because of the show. Yeah. And that's kind of the case for lots of, if we're putting Succession in best of all time, it is alongside. There is not one other show in best of all time that has like a previously built-in megastar in it. Sopranos, The Wire, Mad Men, Breaking Bad. It was all like
Breaking Bad, no?
Yeah, but he was like the dad in
That's
Malcolm
true,
in the Middle.
That's true.
He was not a
I
superstar.
definitely like shot him into superstardom.
So yeah, the anthology is the only way to get your Julia Robertses in television, I guess.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon.
All right, so Last of Us takes the award, but we wanted to give some shout outs to Succession and Beef. Now we are moving on to funny / comedy.
So I have to give this to Shrinking. This show was just the best. I absolutely loved all the characters. And I think it was a slow build. I mean, I definitely loved it from the first episode, but by the last episode, like I adored literally every single character. Like there was no character that I was just like, I don't want to watch them. I just like, this is like one of those type of shows that I could just like have on in the background while I'm doing something else. Like, I know that sounds silly, but like, I almost feel like when you watch it enough, something like Friends, like you just put that on and it's just kind of like a warm blanket. You know what I mean? It's just like like I'm hanging out with my friends type of show. I don't know. I loved it. And then I do want to give another shout out to Extraordinary. This was on Hulu. I just love British comedies. I just feel like their humor is so funny. So yeah, if you haven't watched that show, please check it out. It's super fun.
Wow. Once again, we are in agreement on Shrinking. It wins the award. It was very heartwarming, yet sad. A warm blanket is a great way to describe it. It kind of filled in for Ted Lasso, seemed to have kind of stolen its thunder. Yeah. Ted Lasso is still fine, but it definitely doesn't hit as hard as it used to.
No, not at all.
Shrinking definitely stole that corner. But I also wanted to give a shout out to another show that is still on, Grand Crew, for just the funniest show.
Shrinking, so good.
Shrinking could almost be a drama with a lot of laughs. Grand Crew is just your very classic sitcom like Friends. That is just hilarious. All the characters are perfectly, at this point, perfectly cast, perfectly written. It just makes me crack up all the time. And then I also wanted to shout out a show that I didn't even come out this year, but I've caught up on all 3 seasons of the Harley Quinn cartoon.
Yeah, animated series on HBO.
That is on HBO. And it's great. It gets so much deeper than you would ever expect it to, with depression and romance. And it's just crazy. And it's way over the top and it's really funny. I'd highly recommend catching back up. And then especially with Harley Quinn coming into the Joker 2, kind of comparing her to what Margot Robbie did with her run of movies. This is Kaylee Cuoco, and she doesn't do the voice. She does her own thing. It's very shrill.
Yeah.
It's very grating.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Kaylee Cuoco's voice as Harley Quinn. I liked Margot Robbie a lot. I thought she did amazing. And I can't believe that Lady Gaga is going to try and take a swing at this, to be honest. She's going to be compared to Margot Robbie, and I don't know if that's
It's going to be a tough one. Kaylee Cuoco does not do the mega New York
No, she
classic
doesn't.
voice like the, oh, Mr. J. And
Yeah.
they actually make a bit about that at one point. I think in season 3, they finally address that she's not doing the voice, and they make a joke about it. I assume Lady Gaga will be doing her New Jersey accent
to the
max. So we'll see about that one. Totally unrelated. And finally on TV, you gotta talk reality TV.
Yeah, so I watched a lot of reality TV this year.
So much.
But it's like so hard not to talk about Survivor and Top Chef here. Like these are the two of my honestly like favorite shows. They just happen to be reality shows. And yes, they're still happening. Like they're not over right now, but I just don't think anything can even come close to them, which is why I think that they should win this silly award that we're doling out. Yeah, I just don't think anything can compare. I mean, I watch so many like stupid love shows, Love is Blind, Love Island, Love. I don't even know. I feel like I can make up shows and you would think they were real. So,
ooh, a 3 for 3 agreement. How exciting. I'm gonna let Irma take most of the reality talk in this podcast, but it turns out Survivor and Top Chef are the only 2 reality shows I watch. So I agree, they're the best.
Yeah.
What if you had to pick one that is done?
That is done. So I watched this, I think it's called Point Break on Apple TV. And it's about surfing. And I honestly really loved that. And it's also goes hand in hand because 100-Foot Wave is back on HBO. I think there's been maybe 1 or 2 episodes of that. And like there's like some of the same characters. And I find it like absolutely mind boggling, like watching them like do this sport. So yeah, I just really enjoy watching that.
Yeah, we discussed that briefly in a previous episode as well. It's basically the F1 Drive to Survive that's on Netflix, but for the surfing circuit.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all the television winners. A huge honor to be celebrated by Talkin Tent in the first trimester awards.
Yeah, we'll send you your certificate in the mail. Look out for that.
Your free subscription to Talkin Tent. Please subscribe.
Yeah.
And now we are grabbing our popcorn and heading to the movies. And we're going to split this out differently. We didn't do drama versus comedy. I'm doing what was released this year and what was not. So anything we watched this year, but that came out any time before that. But first, we're going to start with the more traditional award of the best movie so far this year.
So I have to give this to somebody I used to know. This movie, it's a smaller movie, went directly to Amazon Prime. This is Alison Brie and Dave Franco's, I guess, directorial debut, though I may be wrong about that. What?
You are wrong about that. Dave Franco also did another movie with Alison Brie. It was more of a horror movie. The one, I think I described it in a previous episode when we talked about this movie, in our rom-com episode, but it was a horror movie about them renting an Airbnb together.
Oh, right. We did talk about that. Yeah. But this is more of like a rom-com, and they wrote it together. And it was just really nice. And it was different than a lot of other rom-coms. It was more about Alison Brie realizing, maybe I'm the problem in this. Yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I highly recommend. Definitely give it a watch. Super light, easy to watch.
I don't know about super light. Like super light is a normal rom-com. This was deeper, more introspective. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing. Saying, it's not like The Last of Us where zombies are going to come eat your brains.
Yeah,
But yeah. And I am conflicted on this award. I don't have a standout. I think it's early in the year, so I think it's pretty normal to not have the huge movies that are going to be best of the years out yet. I don't think there's any major movies that have blown me away yet.
No, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Not yet.
You know what I mean? Like that came out in March last year, which is
early.
Crazy.
So I'm going to give it a split vote with 2 genre movies that kind of fall right in my IP wheelhouse, with Knock at the Cabin, M. Night Shyamalan's latest installment, an apocalyptic affair with Dave Bautista just kind of showing off. what he can do. And then Scream 6. Scream 6 was a delight. We're back at it. I had a great time watching, and even if parts of it were slightly disappointing, and I think probably Scream 5 was better, both were a delight. And we just saw Beau is Afraid, Ari Aster's third and most controversial and most insane movie. I'm still unpacking what happened in it. I don't think I can give it this award until I see it again at home. I can pause it and go pee. The last 30 minutes, I had to pee so bad I couldn't even breathe. It's 3 hours long. And there's just so much happening. I have to watch it again. So maybe it will be in a year in review. I kind of thinking it will. I don't know. I don't know. It was either crazy or brilliant. I still can't decide, but I had to mention. And our final award of the night is best movie that we caught up with in 2023 that didn't come out this year.
So for me, this has to go to The Woman King. It was just not what I expected at all. I don't know what I even expected, to be honest, but it was so fun. It was it got your adrenaline up. It was so thrilling. The action was great, and Viola Davis looked amazing while also being great. I just loved all of the women in this, and I loved what's his face?
John Boyega.
Yeah, John Boyega. Woof, so good. Everyone was just so good in this movie. I honestly kind of hope they make a second one. I don't know what they would do, but I just think it would be so much fun. Maybe it'd be about the younger woman in this. I won't spoil who she is, but I don't know. I just think it would be really amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think Woman King is kind of the runaway winner of this. We caught up with it a little late for some reason. But we had mentioned that it probably should have been in Oscar talks.
It really should have. That was a huge miss on them.
I think, I don't know, it seems so weird because I think, 10 years ago, it's like the Gladiator. Like, I feel like in any other situation, it would have been just in every category. But I don't know. I guess it's about Black women, so it got pushed to the side. I don't know why. But it was great. So that's the easy winner. Once again, I have 2 extra shout outs. I randomly rewatched Shutter Island, and it's so good.
I don't think that could be considered in this.
But all right, so a new category, anything that came out more than 10 years ago. Okay. Shutter Island I watched. I was just like, dude, was it really as good as I remember? And it really is. And then a smaller indie shout out is a movie that I believe is on Hulu and went straight to Hulu. It's called On the Count of Three, and it is Gerard Carmichael's movie. So he had a pretty big year last year of having one of the breakout stand-up specials of the year, and then this very well-received indie movie. But it's Gerard Carmichael and Christopher Abbott, whom I love. I won't even describe what happens.
Christopher Abbott, like an actor?
Yeah, the guy from Girls that I talked about.
Guy from Girls.
The other guy from Girls,
yes,
Marnie's
yes.
ex-boyfriend.
Her original ex-boyfriend. So he wasn't even really on Girls for that long.
Yeah, but he would pop back in.
Yeah.
After I watched this movie, I was and seeing what Adam Driver has been agreeing to do lately. I started thinking if Christopher Abbott is the more intriguing Girls actor to come out of that show. Then I looked at his full IMDb, and it's definitely not, because Adam Driver has done some really great stuff, but he seems to be on the wrong trajectory. Christopher Abbott just does these indie movies, and he's so good in them. Do you want to do a triple threat of Christopher Abbott showing off, even though the character is similar in this movie, Black Bear, and It Comes at Night, 3 fantastic small movies. They might all be on Hulu, actually. But I just love him, and this movie it was great.
And it's called On the Count of Three.
On the Count of Three, yes.
All right. Well, I think that's our awards.
Should we do a recap?
Sure.
Best television drama, The Last of Us. Congratulations. Best television comedy, Shrinking, and Grand Crew. I love Grand Crew.
Yeah.
Best reality, Survivor.
Ooh. I don't know. I'm split between Survivor and Top Chef. I love them both.
This season of Survivor has been very good.
Yeah, and this season of Top Chef has been great.
Yeah.
Don't me.
Best movie so far that has released in 2023. Irma says Somebody I Used to Know with Alison Brie and Dave Franco. And I say a split between Knock at the Cabin and Scream 6. I'm just going to give it to Knock at the Cabin. And released previous to this year and only released last year, but we caught up with it this year, is The Woman King pretty easily. Great film.
All right. So thank you to Craig for the production assistance, and thank you to John Welsh for our intro and outro music.
Subscribe so you know every time we post an episode. Follow us on all the socials at Talkintent, and feel free to send us an email at talkintent@gmail.com. Congratulations to all the winners. Your awards are in the mail. From our living room to yours, what do you want to watch?